Hello and welcome to DriveSpark. This is Bharadwaj, and yes, we are in the Mercedes-Benz plant where the EQS is being manufactured in India for the first time, and it is also getting rolled out in a couple of hours. But before that, Mercedes has given a full access to how the assembly line works, and I'm doing just that and tell you what you need to know about how our assembly line works and how the EQS is being assembled. So let's get started. This is where the body panels have come together, and this is already pre-assembled to certain stages. Now the previous stages to this is not accessible, so this is where it starts right now. This is where we have gotten the access. It is pre-assembled to certain stage. Now what happens is, going forward, the car gets on a lift. You can see there is a lift there, or there's a robotic platform there. Now what happens to that platform is it will keep moving when the assembly line is running. There will be a stipulated time for the engineer working at the line. They will have to clear and attach whatever or fix whatever that is there on the car in a stipulated time. So that jig moves on its own, and it is under a stipulated time where it gets assembled, where the engineer will have time to assemble the car. Once that is done, it moves to the next bay. If there is any part being missed, the assembly line will throw an error and the complete system will stop, because this is a cloud, entertained system. Everything is automated here. There is nothing manual as such. So the system will automatically recognize, and it will delay the time, delay the line. It will in fact stop it and make sure that the car also gets corrected and all the parts are being installed. It is everything automated. It is everything scanned through the QR codes. The whole lot of cameras here to make sure that that does not happen, and anything and everything is being done. So what you see right here, these are the spares that is needed for the cars to be assembled. Now these spares are also automated. There is an automated process that will come to the line, and spares are delivered to the engineers as and when they need it to assemble it on the car. There's something called as just-in-time process. That is what it is required. So there's no storage of spares here. There will be the spares will be stored somewhere else, but it will reach the assembly line in just in time where the car arrives, and also production or the assembly happens. So this is how the assembly line works. You can see from each assembly line, each bay, the car gets progressed. New bits are added to it, new bits goes onto the car and makes it a complete product. Now what you see here is only the assembly line of the body part and not the powertrain. Powertrain is something that we do not have access to, but this is the body part what being assembled here, and you have a lot of parts that is going on to the car in each bay. Like for example, there's tail lights going on, there's boot lid going on, there's hood going on, and there's suspension setup going on, and mostly these are interiors also going on to the car to make it a finished product. Now when it gets assembled through the final line right there, so it gets onto another assembly line. But now let's check out how the final product or the final bay of this assembly line looks like. So all these parts are also tested continuously in one of the testing machines right here. There will always be a quality check before it goes onto the car. Multiple quality checks. Mercedes is well known for that. So that is the reason you get to see a lot of stuff being special purpose machines being built here. And also you can see that windshield. This is the bay where the windshield will go on to the EQS. Before that, there will be no windshield on the car. This is where the windshield will go on, and the car will continue its journey towards the end of assembly. And this here, that's the last bay right here. That's where the assembly ends for this line, for this assembly line, and that's where you get to see that most of the interiors are already in place. This is the bay where the seat goes in and it gets completed, and that is one of the final line. So where here seats are installed in the car, and it is sent to the next assembly line. Now after this, there is the final assembly line where the marriage will happen. Let me just take you there and show you how that looks. So this line what you see here is the final assembly line for the EQS. The finished product from the body, the top part what you can see, that arrives here, and the bottom part what you cannot see, that's the powertrain, also arrives here later in one of the stages. But this is the final assembly line. That is how the car is being built. Now this is where it starts. The finished product where the interiors are fitted comes here, and then again what you can see is a theme. All the spare parts are produced here. All the spare parts are present for ready to get assembled and ready to go onto the car. After this is where the car moves on to the next line. There are some bits added over here, and there's another interesting bit. This is the one. So this is called the pre-marriage stage. This is where the powertrain comes in, and that is where the body is. So this powertrain goes on to that body, and this is a pre-marriage stage. So this is one of the very important process before the actual process happens. So this is where they align the car to the powertrain and they fix it. Now next stage is where what we call in production terms as the marriage. Yes, when the powertrain comes and bolts onto the top part, that's the body part, this is where the marriage happens. Now you can see the powertrain system, what you see in the previous bay, that has been attached to the car. Now this is called as marriage. Now this is one of the important process in a assembly line and a production stage. It means that the car is almost done, but still it cannot stand on its own because there's no wheels fitted. Now that also happens later in the assembly line. Here you get brake parts getting onto the car. You can see calipers are getting fitted to the car right there, and several other trim pieces also goes onto the car going forward. This is one of the bay. So what happens here is the bay, what you see right there, the yellow fixture what you see right there that's holding the car, that will finally end on this line, because the next line is where the car stands on its own finally for the first time in a production process. Because as you can see right there on the next bay, the car is standing on its own because the wheels are being fitted, the wheels were fitted and everything. Now the car is ready to go ahead on its own. However, it's still not finished because as you can see, the doors not fitted and there are several other trim pieces that needs to go. Now that happens finally in the final parts of the assembly line. So this is where it progresses in terms of adding some more trims and adding some more features to the car. So finally, that is where the car is almost finished, and there are other couple of lines where the quality test will happen and finally the car will be assembled. So as you can see, the car that is there right there, that is going to be the first EQS that is being rolled out of India finally. So this was our short and very interesting take. It was certainly overwhelming and interesting for me because I love production plants, and Mercedes was sweet enough to open up this particular facility to the people and just make them see what they do and how they do the stuff. I hope that I explained well on this video. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Also like and share this video and do subscribe to DriveSpark if you haven't done it already. Also, we are going to have a drive of this car soon, and we'll bring you our first impressions of the Made in India EQS car later in this month, and stay tuned for that video as well. This is Bharadwaj signing off. Stay safe and drive safe.